As the years have gone on, the UFO phenomenon has gained a large following. Every year people come forward with their sightings and encounters, and one of the benefits of many people having mobile phones is that when something strange does happen, there's usually someone that's able to capture it on camera. This is exactly what happened with this alleged UFO. The photographs and footage was sent to Disclosure Screen and also Scott C. Waring of UFO Sightings. There they described it as being an unidentified flying object. It wasn't long before people in the comment section then started to give their theories on why it was there, and what the object was. One person suggested that the truck was trying to transport it to the nearby Air Force Base, but that something went wrong, causing the craft to fall off the truck. This was when it was captured on camera by a driver who was passing by the scene. One person said the following about the incident. This could be a reversed engineered craft from the military. It's theorized that there's an infinite amount of designs that the military have come out with, or the other idea is that this is a recovered craft. It certainly looks strange and I can't think of what it could be. We don't really have much to go by though, and there's always the possibility that this is nothing. It's mentioned that the object was heading to a military installation, so perhaps it could be a piece of equipment that will attach to a man-made craft. At this point, who knows? End quote. While another person said the following. Although it looks interesting, I'm sure it's not a UFO. The likelihood of them travelling around with something like this in the daytime, and also not having it wrapped up, is very slim. Something of this magnitude would be hidden so well that no one would have a clue what it was. It's not an unidentified flying object, but perhaps it's something like a prop for a movie. With that being said, I'm still a big believer that there's weird stuff going on, but in this case I don't think we're seeing a genuine unidentified flying object. End quote. Some went on to note though that the orange is not part of the craft, but is rather just a covering. So why is it being covered up? It could just be because whatever the object is needs protecting, or as others have pointed out, it may need to be hidden from the public. It may not be a UFO, but it could be a secret piece of equipment for a military aircraft. The original story is that the truck was having problems while on the road and the driver decided to pull over. Once they did, the craft started to slide off the truck, causing more issues and meaning that people had to be called in. Once this happened, it started to draw in a crowd, who in turn started to take photographs and videos of the object. UFO researchers have said the object could be the real deal, but noted that more information is needed before we start celebrating, with one amateur researcher saying the following. These sorts of stories are always interesting and seem to make the news. This, however, isn't always a good thing, as the majority of these stories turn out to be nothing interesting, and usually get explained within a few days. The likelihood of this being a genuine recovery of a UFO is slim. The fact it's laid out on a truck and has the ability to slide off is not a good sign, and the most likely answer is that this object is just a piece of material for a military plane, or it could even be a prop. I can imagine if they were to recover a UFO craft, it wouldn't have been done in the middle of the day, and laid out on the back of a truck for everyone to see. However, this is 2020, so who knows? The topic of recovered UFOs is not a new one. W. Mac Brazier was a rancher who lived near Roswell, New Mexico. Back in 1947, he came across an incredible sight. A downed craft had made contact with the ground. During this time there had been a lot of talk about unidentified flying objects, and this caused Braziel to think that the wreckage had been something similar. Major Jesse Marcel was sent to investigate the site and recover the wreckage. He announced in a press release they had recovered a flying disc, but the next day they said it was only a weather balloon. Later on, however, the Air Force claimed that neither stories were true, and that it was actually a device used to spy on the Soviet Union. Due to these conflicting reports, this caused some to not believe any of these stories, and actually believed the military personnel who were on the site. Decades after the event took place, some came forward with their stories, saying that whatever made contact with the ground that day was not a weather balloon, saying that the material it was made of was incredibly light and wouldn't crease or break, no matter how hard the soldiers tried to destroy it. With another saying we have nothing like this on our planet. The National Enquirer decided to report on the story once again in 1978. Theories began circulating that the government had been covering up the truth all along, and that the wreckage truly was an alien spacecraft. One person claimed to have seen a blazing aircraft right before the crash, while others claimed they saw it break up and scatter over a large area. There were also accounts from people witnessing alien bodies coming from the wreckage. One of the most famous accounts came from a mortician named Glenn Dennis. According to Dennis, a nurse at the Roswell Army Field witnessed doctors examining 3 creatures that resembled humans, but had long thin arms and very large bald heads. Dennis reported that there were requests for child-sized caskets around the same time. Due to witness accounts like this and the fact that the government changed their story several times, the Roswell incident is still one of the most famous UFO cases. There's still a number of people that believe the military is in possession of these crafts, with many pointing to early UFO cases that include people seeing UFOs making contact with the ground. When residents have gone to the scene to check it out for themselves, they've been met with military officials who have told them to keep quiet about what they saw. If they don't, they're usually told that force will be used against them if that's necessary. So what do you guys make of this interesting object that was photographed? Do you think that is a recovered UFO? Or could it be a piece of equipment that will be attached to a man-made aircraft? Also, what's your opinion on recovered crafts? Do you think the military is in possession of recovered UFOs? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.